I'm going to be headed up to Alaska. I'm going to be going to the same area that I grew up in, and it's around the southeast. The only difference is I'm going to be doing it solo. I'm also going to be doing it surviving off the land. I will take a small amount of supplies with me, but other than that, I will be surviving purely from what I can find in the land. I plan to stay there for about 30 days or so. I will document it. I will be doing both short form and long form content. Now, one thing that I'd really love would be to have 1 million followers before I make this trip. It's going to be a pure survival trip. It's a lot of fun for me, but it's also can be pretty tough. But I want to document it to show y'all guys just how real Alaska is and how real I am in Alaska. It has been way too long since I've been out in the wild, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. I intend to leave around September 3rd, and I won't be getting back until sometime in October. But like I said, if y'all guys don't mind giving me a follow, I definitely appreciate it, because I'd like to have 1 million follows first. Also, for the longer content, if you'd like to follow the link in my bio, that is where the longer content will be. God bless, and see you in Alaska. Let me walk y'all guys through my plan real quick. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing is headed to Texas with Raven and the boys, and I'm going to be getting them settled. From there, I will be returning to Washington, and I'm going to make myself a small home base up on Mountain. It's been quite a while, over a year actually, since I've been up there. So I'm going to get myself a small home base that I can work out of. And from there, I'm going to try to stock up all the supplies and all the resources that I will need in order to go to Alaska. So the plan is to go to Alaska in September, but I'm going to need to be taking some stuff with me, like a generator and things like that. And I'm still not sure if I'm going to ferry up or fly up. Each has their benefits. So if I ferry up, I can take like my car, I can go ahead and load it down and stuff. But it'll be multiple ferries to get to the area that I'm going. So I'm not sure on that yet, but first I'm going to Texas, then I'm coming back to Washington, and then I'll be headed to Alaska. God bless. I want to return to Browntown for a little while I'm in Alaska. The property that I'm looking at is semi-close to the old property that we used to live in, but there's one problem. So somebody bought the property of Browntown, which I wasn't aware of, but I am having trouble finding out who owns it. You obviously cannot go and camp somewhere without permission, so I am trying to find out who bought the property in Browntown and try to contact them to see if they would mind, if they would let me camp in the old property that we used to live on that became known as Browntown. So I've been having a lot of trouble finding out who they are. I've called some people back in Alaska that I know, but they said that they don't have any contact information for them. And they're trying to help me as well find out, you know, who owns it and how I could get in contact with them. If anyone happens to know anybody that bought the old place in Alaska, if you could let me know in the comments below, I would love to be able to camp there a little bit and just to, you know, to walk over the Browntown land one more time. Anyway, guys, God bless. So what happened to the tire house that was on our property in Browntown after we left? So the tire house was not my personal favorite. It was a good structure. Obviously, I didn't make it have anything to do with it, but it was a good structure. It kept the weather out, but you could smell it from a pretty good ways away. It smelled like rubber. And I wouldn't have been able to live inside it. I loved my tree house. It smelled like spruce and smelled really good, actually. The tire house, not so much. So the last time I was there, which was about 5 years ago, which is really hard to believe, it's been so long since I've been there, or in Alaska in general. But the last time I was there, the tire house was actually removed. So the owners of the property now removed the tire house completely, as well as the trapper shack, actually. The old trapper shack that Bam and Noah sword fought to see who would get it. The trapper shack was actually taken down. So the only structures that were still standing in Browntown the last time I was there was the main house and my tree house. So much time has passed now that if the tree house hasn't been maintained, it won't be standing either. But anyway, guys, the tire house was completely removed. God bless. To talk about Bam in this video today, guys. So I get a lot of questions about him and what he's up to, so I wanted to let y'all guys know. So Bam is pretty busy a lot of the time, and one of the newest projects that he was working on was actually narrating One Wave at a Time, the true life story of Dad. And it's something that Dad wanted to do before he passed away. He had narrated a couple of his children's stories, and we actually one time we ended up selling them to tourists. Our boat motor blew up. We were in Frederick Sound, and we got towed into Ketchikan. And we ended up staying there, working and stuff like that, and we sold Dad's children's stories to tourists during tourist season. So it's something that Dad wanted to do was to do an audio book of One Wave at a Time. But unfortunately, as you all know, he passed away before he could do that. But Bam has been working on it really hard for a while in order to get it out there, and he just finished it. So if y'all guys want to check out Alaskan Bush People's official website, you can find One Wave at a Time narrated by Bam. Now, unfortunately, there's not a lot of copies of One Wave at a Time. They sell out pretty quickly, actually, which is cool. But the narrated version of it, y'all guys can download it, so you should check it out, and it's a great story, and Bam is an awesome narrator. Anyway, guys, just giving a shout out to Bam. God bless. Stay extreme. So I wasn't going to make this video. I had actually decided against it, but because I have spent so long documenting my life, I figured it was only fair to document this as well. Now, before I get to the point, I would like to say that no, it's not a good thing, but that I've always been a little on the vain side, and obviously being vain is not a good thing, and I'm not quite as vain as I was like when I was a teenager and even into my 20s and stuff, but I am still a little too vain, and I've never like broken any teeth or anything like that before, and I was actually eating a rib yesterday, and I bit into a spot that had some bone sticking out, and I accidentally chipped my tooth, and it's a pretty bad one, my front tooth. So I wasn't actually gonna show it, but it's pretty unavoidable anyway. But it's also like a really bad one, and it's really like a strange looking one the way that it chipped, which you probably can tell just from me talking now. But I'll go ahead and show. So it's like a square chip right on my tooth, but I figured I'd go ahead and document that as well. Obviously, I'm going to be working to try to get it fixed. I'm still working on trying to not be quite so vain as well. Anyway, guys, God bless. So I wanted to say something about Noah real quick. So Noah and I were talking, and he asked me for a favor. He asked if he could borrow my Jeep and take it to Alaska for a few months. Because he needs a smaller vehicle, essentially. So I agreed. I told him for sure that as long as he brings it back in one piece, if he gets it going and can get it running, that he's more than welcome to borrow it to take it to Alaska. I'm not going to be using it right this second anyway. So he's pretty confident that he can get it going, but you know, I always try to help out as much as I can, and you know, it's just been sitting there. I haven't been really wanting to get it going at all. I've just been super busy, but I went ahead and told him if he gets it going, he can take it to Alaska. Just don't sink it into the ocean, don't lose it, don't get it like smashed, destroyed, bring it back in better condition than it left in. And be sure to return it in a timely fashion, full of gas. The full of gas is a joke. But yeah, he said he's going to have it, only need it for like a few months. So I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead. Whatever helps him out. I know he's really been trying to get up to Alaska. So I went ahead and agreed to help him out for sure. Anyway, guys, just keeping you all guys posted on what we're up to and all. My red Jeep. Hopefully he can get it going. He should be able to. I think it's just a fuel pump or something like that. Anyway, guys, God bless. Just show y'all guys something. It's just right here, so it'll only take 1 second. It's this tree right here. So it's a tree that has like a bunch of flowers on it. So in Alaska, where I come from, there aren't flower trees. They might have some like planted in Anchorage and even possibly Juneau and places like that, but they don't grow naturally in Alaska. You can smell this one from a mile away, and I'm not sure what type of tree it is. If anybody knows in the comments below, if you could let me know what kind of tree it is, the flowers here on it. I know a lot of trees that have flowers on it actually bear like fruit, like apple trees and like a bunch of different ones. Is normally the ones that grow like fruit. Now, I'm not an expert on flower trees and stuff like that. I'm still learning a lot of the stuff in the lower 48. I know like all the plants in Alaska, but not here. So if anybody knows what this tree is, if you could let me know in the comments below. God bless. Okay, so I have a surprise for one of my siblings, and I was wanting y'all guys to guess which sibling, but let me give you a little bit more information for it first. Okay, so I was going through the store the other day, stocking up on supplies, you know, at the good old Walmart, the blue store, and I'm going through, and I'm not much of a shopper. I'm like, whoa, so many people, so much stuff, and not really my thing. But I'm going through, and then all of a sudden, I saw this thing that I thought one of my siblings would really, really, really like. So I drew closer to it, I grabbed it, and this is what it is. This is a t-shirt, obviously, a Superman t-shirt. It's from the newest movie that hasn't come out yet, which I'm pretty excited for. It's coming out in July, and it's a Superman t-shirt. So can y'all guys guess who this Superman t-shirt is for? Which one of my siblings is it for? Let me know in the comments below what y'all guys' guesses will be, and I will let y'all guys know who it is actually for. Thank you very much, guys. I always try to have as much fun on here as possible, and I just couldn't resist this cool Superman shirt. God bless. I wanted to walk y'all guys through a few things that I'm working on. One is the life of Bear. I have it on the link in my bio, and it is basically just filming whatever I happen to be doing in long-form content. I'm also working on my horror movie still, the Mascot comic book, as well as another thing that I'm hoping to have out by October. It is called Survival Deadly, and it is actually based after a lot of sort of ghost stories that you hear in Alaska. So Alaska has like a spooky side to it, and there are places that we've even been warned not to ever go and not to camp. Locals never go to these specific areas and stuff like that. And there's one specific bay that is supposed to be like almost haunted. The strangest story ever told is actually a book about this specific bay, and I've known people that thought that there was nothing to it, it's just a bay, and they went to the camp there, and they came back and they were warning Dad and the family to never go to this bay. He's like, I didn't believe it at first, but this bay is, you know, there's something with it. It's haunted. There's stuff that lives there and all. And I personally self have never seen anything like that at all. But I was making up this story, Survival Deadly, and it kind of has play to all the things that I've heard, you know, growing up, and all the stories that I've heard. And it is it's a comic book audiobook, so it's not like a full-fledged comic book. It has like pictures, like one picture, and then a lot of dialogue, and then another picture and a lot of dialogue, basically chapter pictures. But this one I'm hoping to have out by October, to have it out by Halloween. It's a lot easier to do. But I wrote it myself. It is slightly based after some of the legends and stuff that you hear and all, but it's not, you know, it's not like, you know, taken directly from it. It's just kind of based around it, and like the stuff that you hear about, like locals talk about and stuff like that. But like I said, Alaska definitely has a spooky side to it. If y'all guys have any spooky stories, let me know in the comments below. God bless, and be sure to double tap the screen. Got this shirt from one of my siblings. I asked y'all guys in a previous video who you thought it was, and a whole ton of y'all guys got it correct. Okay, a few were wrong, but that's to be expected. A lot of y'all guys had some awesome answers. So I actually got this t-shirt for Gabe. So a lot of y'all guys guessed Gabe, and Gabe is the correct answer. So Gabe in our family has almost always been a lot like Superman. Not only is he the big, strong, muscular guy, but he's also always had, he used to, especially when he was younger, had like just one like squib down in his hair that almost made the perfect S. He looked a lot like Superman, he acted a lot like Superman, and he was super strong like Superman. So Gabe has always reminded a lot of us of Superman. So when I saw this in the store, I could not help myself but to get it. Pretty excited about the new Superman movie as well. Even thinking about possibly seeing it in theater, but we'll see. I've only ever actually seen 2 movies in theaters before. But I wanted to let y'all guys know that a lot of y'all guys did guess correctly, and Gabe gets the Superman shirt. God bless. A memory with y'all guys from back when I was a kid. It is actually the closest that I have ever come to almost being stomped by a moose. So we were out scouting property. It was in Haines, Alaska, and I was about 10 or 11 years old. And we'd gone and we checked all these areas looking for a new house site, and we came back, and Dad set his rifle down, and Mom was like, well, hey, what about that one hill just over there, over the canyon? And so we went back, going to check out this last piece, and Dad accidentally left his gun there. And Mom and Dad always taught us that if they ever said to run, that it is not a joke, to not ask why, to not hesitate to run. And that day we were walking, and all of a sudden Dad yelled in the gruffest voice possible, "Run, y'all!" And I took off. I took off running, and so did everyone else. And we were running, and there was a small little, like, a little hill with another hill underneath it, and there were, like, branches and a fallen tree, like, just, like, stacked up on it. And I jumped over that, and I stopped right there, and everyone jumped over it, too. And we all stopped right here behind this thing. And all of a sudden, this moose came running out of the woods. And these things are enormous in Alaska, and they will try to stomp you on sight. This thing came out frothing, stomping on the ground, looking around for us. Just before it turned to where we were, our dog, Bronner, we called him the Wonder Dog, and that day he earned his name. He came out of nowhere in the woods, and he attacked that moose. He was biting and chomping towards it. It was kicking at him and trying to stomp him, and they disappeared up into the woods. And we used that opportunity to go back home. So we got out, and we all went back to our house. And it was like 30 minutes later, Bronner did not come back. And about an hour later, we were still like watching and everything, and Dad debated going and like looking for him and stuff, but just when Dad was gonna go, all of a sudden Bronner came limping out of the woods, and he'd been hit bad. He's like limping really bad, and the moose got him in the leg with a hoof, a kick, and it left an impression like a cookie cutter in his leg. And he limped for the rest of his life though, but he saved us that day. Bronner, the Wonder Dog, literally saved our life that day, and it was the closest to being stomped I have ever come. There's a story from Alaska, guys, and you gotta remember, Alaska is a dangerous place. God bless. I was going to talk a little bit about my siblings. Now, as you know, I try not to give out like personal business and stuff like that, but I have talked with them, and they don't mind me sharing a few details here and there. First off, I want to talk about Gabe. So I have a lot of people asking what Gabe's up to, and he's not online very often, actually. He's working like a normal type job where he deals with a lot of like cars and repairing vehicles and towing stuff, and he's said that he has learned a ton and he has a lot of fun with it, though it's a lot of hard work and he works a lot of hours. Mom is actually doing well, and she is up on mountain, and she doesn't have service a lot of time. You know, she's got like a Starlink and a generator and stuff, but she doesn't run it all the time. You know, fuel's expensive and all that, but she's still trying to prepare for like winter. Bam is busy a lot of time as well. He's hardly ever on here. I try not to give out too much of what he's up to, but one thing that he's doing, and already did technically, was he narrated my dad's book, One Wave at a Time, and it's actually for sale on the official website, Alaskan Bush People. Y'all guys should check it out. Anyway, just talking a little bit about my siblings and what they're up to. God bless and stay extreme. Hey, so I'm actually pretty excited. So my longer form content, which you can follow through the link in my bio, is actually doing a lot better than I thought it was going to. I don't have much of a following over there, and I'm just now starting to build it up, but I kind of like doing the longer form content, and nothing against like shorter content on here and stuff, but it's a lot longer content. It's like 15 minutes long, and I'm actually really pleased with the results. Everyone seems to really like it. It's been thumbs up quite a few times for how many followers I have, and it's actually gotten a pretty good amount of views too. So if y'all guys want to check that out, I have the link in my bio, and I'm gonna actually be doing a lot more longer form content in the pretty near future, and that's the same place that I'm gonna be uploading like my longer form Alaska content, and in that stuff I'm actually going to be filming like on a day-to-day basis, just everything that I'm actually doing. So I'll end up taking y'all guys through the steps of like building a camp in Alaska. One of the first things you do when you hit ground is actually like survey the area to see if you can find where like all the bear are and stuff. I'm excited to show y'all guys. I'm really excited to show y'all, and I'm gonna start the longer form content really soon, but you can check out my first one through the link in my bio. Okay, so I just came to town to stock up on some supplies. Shopping is not my not my thing for sure. Nonchalantly passing everybody. So I've just got a few things on the list today, and I will be back on my way. Hey, look at me, I rhymed. But when I go out to get like meat and groceries and stuff like that, I definitely would prefer to be going out, you know, into the bush, up on an alpine maybe, doing some good old-fashioned hunting that way. Hunting in the stores is yeah, it's something. It's something. People always ask if I'm like used to the lower 48. Yeah, and the answer to that is no. Definitely not. Anyway, just keeping y'all guys posted on what I'm up to. God bless.